as well. But if you haven't heard, this news breaking just a couple hours ago, the San Francisco 49ers have given Jimmy Garoppolo's agents permission to seek a trade involving the veteran quarterback. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Of course, Garoppolo recovering from offseason shoulder surgery on his throwing shoulder. He was cleared to practice for the Niners at the start of training camp next week, a source told Schefter. Garoppolo, 30 years old. He'll count almost $27 million against the 2022 salary cap. And any team that would take on Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade, they would take on $24.2 million of that right now. Not entirely surprised that the 49ers have given Jimmy Garoppolo's agent permission to seek a trade. I mean, I assumed this happened a while ago. I think most of us assumed that this quietly happened a while ago because the 49ers, I mean, Kyle Shanahan basically said, yeah, we almost had him traded before the shoulder surgery thing came out. Like, it's no secret that the 49ers have been trying to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo and get something for him in the process. So I'm not entirely surprised by the news. I'm a little bit surprised by the timing of it, because to hear Ian Rappaport tell it just this morning on NFL Network, it sounded like Jimmy G was going to be on the roster for at least a minute, and including the start of camp next week.
Jimmy Garoppolo saw Dr. Neil Elatrash, one of the nation's experts in this field, who also did surgery on Garoppolo to repair a torn capsule in his throwing shoulder. Had that a couple days ago. I'm told it went well. He's progressing well. He is still throwing. He's been throwing for several weeks now, and probably maybe in a week or so, a little more, it's going to be full throttle, able to make all of the throws that he needs to make. The reason I said last night that the expectation is he'll be fully cleared by mid-August is that it's not just about making all the throws. It's about making all the throws, but doing it again, then doing it again, and being able to withstand the rigors of a practice and or potentially a game. That is why mid-August is essentially the day where he'll be fully cleared. And at that point, we will start the process of figuring out, or kickstart the process of figuring out, where's he going to go? Is he going to be traded? Is he going to be released? Is he going to somehow, some way stay in the 49ers roster? Maybe. Still so much to be answered, but all of that comes after he regains his full health.
That was Ian Rappaport this morning, NFL Network, on the recovery of Jimmy G, and saying it'll be mid-August before he's fully cleared for the 49ers, who report to camp next week. And on the heels of that, David Lombardi, who covers the 49ers for The Athletic, in a series of tweets, laid out this list of facts when it comes to the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. Some speculation, some fact, I should say. He says if Rappaport's mid-August timeline holds, no movement until then, it's harder to see Cleveland as a potential landing spot because we're expecting a Deshaun Watson ruling before training camp, which is late July, so that'd leave a 2 to 3 week gap. 49ers are banking on in-camp and in-season changes to the QB landscape to see if an opening for Jimmy Garoppolo materializes. Soft deadline remains the same, August 30th. They don't owe him money until if and when he makes the 53-man roster. No cost to waiting the situation out until then. And no, the 49ers can't just release Jimmy Garoppolo right now. They'd incur an unnecessary $7.5 million injury guarantee penalty by doing so before he passes a physical. So the long holding pattern continues. Let's see if we have a number 10 training camp sighting. That was David Lombardi at The Athletic on the heels of that report from Ian Rappaport that Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be cleared until mid-August, and saying that basically takes the Cleveland Browns out of the situation and the scenario, and says that this kind of sets the 49ers back because they were hoping to capitalize on some kind of change in the quarterback landscape. And when I saw that, I thought, and I still think, that this means that Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to be on this 49ers roster for a minute, for at least training camp, maybe the preseason, and maybe beyond that. And my question is, and you can get in if you want to text, 916-339-1140. Give us a call, 800-920-1140, or comment on the YouTube page, Sactown Sports 1140. It's Cattles and Ramie. No Cattles, just Ramie. Is that such a bad thing? If Jimmy Garoppolo is still on this roster? Is that such a bad thing for the duration of camp, for the duration of the preseason, going into the season? Would that be such a bad thing for Jimmy Garoppolo to be on this roster? 916-339-1140 or 800-920-1140. I don't think it is. And quite frankly, what I make of this latest report from Adam Schefter, who's been known to push narratives that teams want pushed, if I can say so myself. Actually, I don't have to say so myself because we know he asked the Washington football team for editorial permission. So Adam Schefter will sometimes push a narrative or a story that that an organization wants pushed for, and he's not the only one, man. That report when that reporter game. Sometimes you'll do that because you want to serve your sources so that you keep getting the scoops and the stories. I think this is the 49ers just trying to drum up more buzz around, hey, Jimmy's almost right. If anybody wants to, because what does this even mean? Like I said, when I saw that Jimmy Garoppolo's agent had been given permission to seek a trade, I thought I assumed this had already been done. Who in the NFL does not know that Jimmy Garoppolo wants a trade and that the 49ers want to trade him? Is there anybody who knows anything? Not just people in the NFL. Is there anybody who knows anything about the NFL that does not know that to be the case? The 49ers called up Adam Schefter and they were like, hey, man, can you reiterate that Jimmy Garoppolo is out there?
Did you hear us the first time?
Exactly, yeah. Like, is this thing on? Anybody want Jimmy G? That's what this is.
It's like when you're texting someone and they don't respond, and so you do the exclamation point next to your text so they see it again.
Right. Or you ask a question and they don't answer, so 2 hours later, you just send 2 question marks. You just send 2 question marks.
Or the 3 dots.
Or the 3 dots. This is that. This is the 49ers throwing out the 2 question marks to the rest of the NFL. Like, did y'all not hear us? You could have Jimmy G. Just make us an offer. That's what this is. And I legitimately do not think anybody is biting. And as Lombardi said, there is really no point in cutting the guy right now because it's going to cost you a bunch of money. So it looks like Jimmy G is going to be on the roster for a minute. And honestly, I think that's okay. I think that's more than okay. I think that's almost, if not, it is a kind of a desirable situation, kind of an ideal situation. Teams around this league, especially teams with unproven, untested starters who come with very little experience and plenty of question marks, would love to have a quarterback the quality of Jimmy Garoppolo backing him up. And that's not to say that you should have a quick hook with Trey Lance. Give him all the leash in the world. Give him all the room in the world to learn and to grow if you believe in him. But at the same time, you might find out at some point this season that you don't have the dude that you thought you had in Trey Lance. That's possible. I don't know if he is or not. I'm not here to bash Trey Lance, to say he's going to be a bust by any means. I'm also not here to tell you it's a sure thing and he's going to be a great quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers for the next decade plus. I don't know. But you might find out at some point this season that he's not that dude. That might happen. And to have a fallback or a failsafe from Jimmy Garoppolo for a team where the rest of the roster, is Super Bowl ready, and even more likely than that, because it's the NFL, it's football, it's a violent sport. I hate to put this out there into the ether. I'm not trying to manifest anything by any means. Trey Lance could get hurt, man. Quarterbacks get hurt. Football players get hurt all the time. You don't want to have a quarterback the quality of Jimmy Garoppolo, a guy who's already taken you to an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. You don't want to have that to fall back on. And I know people go, oh, yeah, but he's going to be looking over Trey Lance's shoulder. What's that going to do for Trey Lance and his confidence? if you have the moxie, if you're cut from the type of fabric that you're going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL, you welcome pressure. You welcome that. I just came from Milwaukee where we talked mostly Packers over there. And when the whole Aaron Rodgers thing was going on, people were like, man, they're really, if Rodgers doesn't show up, they're really putting Jordan Love in a tough spot. And I was like, Jordan Love is getting the opportunity of a lifetime if Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up. He gets to be what he's always wanted to be, a starting quarterback in the NFL. And any spotlight or pressure should be what he's craved. If Trey Lance crumbles under the pressure of Jimmy G looking over his shoulder, he was never going to be that guy anyways. I say welcome Jimmy G to 49ers camp with open arms. That's what I would do. You can get in on the show, 916-339-1140. Give us a call, 800-920-1140.